What if I told you there's a place in Zion Canyon where sound doesn't travel, it simply vanishes? Picture this. You're walking through a crack in the earth so tight you can touch both walls at once. The ground is cool sand beneath your feet. Sunlight filters down from hundreds of feet above, painting stripes of gold across ancient stone. And then you notice it, the silence. Not just quiet, but a deep, heavy stillness that seems to swallow every whisper, every footstep, every breath. This is the Zion Narrows, and one particular section does something strange to sound itself. Most people come to Zion for the sweeping views, the towering cliffs, the emerald pools, the vast desert sky. But the real magic happens when you leave the wide-open spaces behind and step into the shadows of the Narrows. Because here, the canyon walls don't just guide the river, they transform the very air between them. To understand why this happens, we need to look at what sound really is. Sound travels in waves, vibrations moving through the air like ripples across a pond. In open spaces, these waves spread out freely. But in a slot canyon, something extraordinary occurs. The walls are so close together, sometimes just shoulder width apart, that sound waves can't spread normally. Instead, they bounce, they reflect, they collide, and in certain conditions, they cancel each other out completely. This phenomenon isn't just about quiet. It's about physics rewriting the rules of perception. When you speak in the narrowest sections, your voice doesn't echo like you might expect. Instead, it gets trapped. The sound waves hit one wall, then the other, then back again in rapid succession. High-frequency sounds, the sharp consonants, the crisp edges of words, get absorbed first. What reaches someone standing just 10 feet away might be muffled, distorted, almost underwater. But the strangest effect happens when conditions align perfectly. On still days, when the air is dry and the canyon is empty, certain frequencies can experience what's called destructive interference. This is when sound waves meet perfectly out of phase, the peak of one wave aligning with the trough of another. When this happens, they don't just get quieter, they vanish. Your words literally disappear into the stone. This acoustic phenomenon has a name, the whispering gallery effect, though in Zion's Narrows, it's more like a silencing gallery. The same principle that lets you hear a whisper from across a dome in some cathedrals works in reverse here. The curved, parallel walls create pathways where sound either amplifies or cancels, depending on where you stand. Now imagine experiencing this for the first time. Early explorers of Zion Canyon wrote about these silent passages in their journals. They described shouting to companions just around the bend, only to hear nothing in return. They'd round the corner to find their friend waiting, completely unaware they'd been called. Some thought it was magic. Others feared the canyon itself was alive, swallowing their voices to keep its secrets. Modern hikers still report the same eerie experience. You'll see someone's lips moving, see their expression animated, but hear only fragments. It creates this intimate bubble where the outside world fades away, and you're left with nothing but the rustle of your own thoughts and the occasional drip of water from the walls above. What makes Zion's narrow passage particularly special is how this acoustic oddity interacts with everything else. The filtered light creates shifting patterns that seem to dance in time with the silence. The cool, damp air carries the scent of wet stone and desert sage. Your footsteps become the loudest thing in your world, the crunch of sand, the splash of a puddle, until even those sounds get absorbed by the hungry stone. And then there are the rare moments when sound does travel, but not the way you'd expect. A bird call from high above might funnel down perfectly, crystal clear, as if the bird were perched on your shoulder. The distant rush of the Virgin River might suddenly amplify, filling the narrow space with the roar of water that's actually hundreds of yards away. The canyon becomes an unpredictable conductor of noise, highlighting some sounds while erasing others. This isn't just a curiosity, it's a lesson in how landscapes shape our senses. In our noisy modern world, we're accustomed to sound traveling predictably. But in places like Zion's Narrows, we're reminded that the world is full of acoustic mysteries. That the very air we speak through can be transformed by stone and space. The experience changes people. Hikers emerge from the Narrows speaking in hushed tones, not out of reverence, but because their ears have grown accustomed to the silence. The contrast when you step back into the wider canyon is jarring. Suddenly sound returns to normal, and the world feels loud again. Perhaps the most beautiful part is how temporary it all is. The canyon that creates this phenomenon is itself constantly changing. Flash floods periodically roar through, scouring the walls, shifting the sand, rearranging the very geometry that makes the acoustic magic possible. The perfect spot for sound cancellation, one year might be different the next. The canyon keeps its secrets fluid, sharing them only with those willing to venture into its deepest shadows. Have you ever experienced a place where sound behaved strangely? Share your story in the comments. I read every one. And if you want to explore more of nature's hidden wonders, hit subscribe and join our community of wonder explorers.